Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're decoding some truly fascinating source material to help you navigate those common, yet completely perplexing, financial dilemmas we all face. So, if you're constantly wondering where on earth your paycheck vanishes every month, or you're debating how to manage a growing nest egg, you're in the right place. We're laying out a clear, actionable roadmap to wealth.
Here is our agenda for the journey. We've got 5 key crossroads to hit today. Number 1, mindset. Why you feel poor. Number 2, spending. Cash versus credit. Number 3, saving. Emergency versus investing. Number 4, strategy. Frugality versus investing. And finally, number 5, managing. Advisor versus self-investing. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. Mindset and why you feel poor. First up, let's tackle why you might feel like you're struggling financially, even when the hard numbers say otherwise.
Man, it's a deeply frustrating illusion, isn't it? You get a raise, or maybe a new job with a higher salary, and for a fleeting moment, you feel like you finally made it. Yet, 6 months later, things feel just as tight. Why is that? Well, the source material points to a very specific psychological trap that totally distorts how we view and handle our money.
The sources identify this trap perfectly. It's called lifestyle creep. And it happens so subtly. You get a bump in pay, so you upgrade your apartment, maybe lease a slightly nicer car, or start treating yourself to more expensive dinners. Because your discretionary spending automatically rises in lockstep with your income, which is usually driven by just comparing ourselves to our peers, you'll never actually feel wealthy. Your financial breathing room just evaporates the second it arrives.
Section 2. Spending. Cash versus credit. Now that we've checked our mindset, let's step straight into your wallet for a heavyweight bout on daily spending.
The crucial point to understand here is the psychology behind the actual transaction. The source material highlights that handing over physical cash triggers a literal pain of paying in your brain. That psychological friction naturally limits your overspending, right? Because you feel every single dollar leaving your hand. On the flip side, credit cards offer fantastic rewards and perks, absolutely, but they completely abstract the transaction. Swiping a piece of plastic or just tapping your phone is dangerously frictionless, which makes it incredibly easy to just ignore your budget entirely.
Now, you don't have to strictly choose just one side of this crossroad. The winning strategy derived from the sources is a hybrid approach. Use cash for your daily variable habits, like groceries, coffees, weekend entertainment, to intentionally introduce that friction and keep your budget in check. Then use credit strategically for large, pre-planned expenses. This way you maximize those points and rewards without falling into the trap of high-interest debt, provided you pay that balance off in full every single month.
Section 3. Saving. Emergency versus investing. Moving from the wallet over to the bank account, we hit the classic dilemma of where to put your hard-earned extra dollars first.
Think of this less as a battle between saving and investing and more as a strict order of operations. Step 1. Establish a base emergency fund. We're talking $1,000 or 1 month's rent, just enough to keep you from going into credit card debt over a flat tire. Step 2. Immediately pivot to grab your employer's 401k match because let's be real, that is literal free money and a guaranteed 100% return. Then, step 3, pivot back and build your full emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses. By following this exact sequence, you establish a rock-solid safety net without missing out on early compound growth.
Section 4. Strategy. Frugality versus investing. With your savings perfectly structured, we're zooming out to look at the overarching wealth-building debate, pinching pennies versus growing your capital.
It's really like playing defense versus offense in sports. These are your 2 fundamental levers for wealth accumulation. Frugality focuses on playing defense by aggressively cutting your everyday costs, canceling subscriptions, clipping coupons, living well below your means. Investing, on the other hand, plays offense. It's about putting your money to work in the markets, buying assets like index funds, and letting the absolute magic of compound growth do the heavy lifting over time.
There's a fascinating mathematical reality at play here, though. Frugality is an absolutely essential starting point for sure, but it has a hard limit. You can only cut your expenses down to 0. You literally cannot save more than you earn. But your investing potential, it is completely uncapped. It grows exponentially. While you absolutely need defense to free up your capital in the first place, it's the limitless offense of investing that ultimately builds generational wealth.
Section 5. Managing. Advisor versus self-investing. Once your wealth really starts to grow through that uncapped potential, you face the ultimate question. Do you hire a professional to watch over it, or do you do it yourself?
This is a massive crossroad for successful savers. Advisors offer excellent hands-off expertise, behavioral coaching to stop you from panic selling, and comprehensive financial planning. It's a great service if you're feeling totally overwhelmed. Conversely, self-investing requires an upfront investment of your own time and education, and it requires the emotional discipline to stay the course. The massive trade-off, however, lies in the fee structure.
To truly understand the stakes of this choice, let's talk about the standard financial advisor fee discussed extensively in the source materials. It's typically around 1% of your total assets under management, and that's charged every single year. 1%. Honestly, it sounds completely harmless, doesn't it? It sounds like a rounding error. But let's look at the reality of what that actually means over a lifetime of investing.
Over a 30-year investing horizon, that seemingly tiny 1% fee eats a surprisingly massive chunk of your potential compound growth. Why? Because that fee is taken out year after year, meaning you aren't just losing the 1%. You are losing all the compound growth that 1% would have generated over the next 3 decades. When you map the math out, an investor can easily lose 25 to 30% of their total potential wealth to that single percentage point. It's wild. This makes self-investing highly lucrative and absolutely worth the effort if you're just willing to learn the basics of low-cost index funds.
So, you now have the full roadmap distilled directly from the sources. You know how to stop the lifestyle creep, you know how to optimize your cash, and you know how to harness uncapped compound growth. The map is right there in your hands, but it's completely useless if you don't take a step. So, think about it. Which of these financial illusions are you going to shatter today?